Hi, everyone. Welcome to LatProXperience, when we talk about entrepreneurial success through the Latino lens. My name is Antonio Muñiz, and I have a fantastic guest with us today. Tom Martinez is a great friend, an amazing leader, and an entrepreneur and business owner for many, many, many years. So, Tom, I'm so glad that you're here with me today, with us at LatProXperience. Welcome.
Thank you, Antonio. This is quite a pleasure, quite an honor to be with you and your audience. I know this is a private conversation, but not so private because I know you have a lot of listeners and viewers. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me in your place.
Thank you for saying yes. When I full transparency, when I spoke with Tom about coming on board and having this episode and coming on LatProXperience, I said, look, if we're going to have a private conversation in public, how does that sound? It's like, Oh, okay. Sounds good. So anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. You know, Tom, we've known each other for several years, and I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm proud to call you a person of value, because every time that I reach out to you, first of all, you always pick up the phone. That's a big thing. And the second thing is that you always bring value to me and those around me. So I want to thank you in public for that. But perhaps not everyone has had the same opportunity to get to know you. So let's start there. Who is Tom? Who is Tom Martinez?
Well, it's a big guy. First of all, speaking of transparency, you can see my background. This is my office. It's a mess. So welcome to my mess. I have to rearrange everything because I have to, as we know, a hurricane might become sometime soon. So I have to rearrange everything in the office and cover windows and why not. So that's my home. That's, my wife also shares some space there. So those are my books and my library on the side. But anyways, welcome to my world here. Thank you. Born, raised, and educated in the island of Puerto Rico, Lajas, Puerto Rico. I was educated there and graduated from Colegio de Mayagüez, University of Puerto Rico in Mayagüez, with the bachelor's degree in industrial management. I joined the Army shortly after that, and my last station was here in Orlando. And here's where I finished my master's degree. And after that, after leaving the Army, I started my restoration business, cleaning and restoration business, and I built it up from the ground up. I enjoyed it. I really liked the idea of providing service in this area, and I helped other franchisees to build their business. I was a trainer before in the Army, so I became a trainer also in this business. And after about 6 years, I sold my business. I built it up so I could sell it. And then I started working. I worked with insurance companies, and then I started my business coaching, business and leadership coaching. I became certified with the company back in 2005, 2006 in a company in Pennsylvania, and then I became certified with John Maxwell leadership team here in Orlando. So I have my own coaches. I have my own coaches for everything. My coaches in leadership, in business, and in speaking, and why not? They help me as well. So ever since I've been doing this, and I enjoy it. I've been meeting and getting acquainted with business and leaders, business owners and leaders here in Orlando, in Florida in general, and abroad as well. So this is quite been a satisfying career so far.
Wow. I mean, it's very difficult to encapsulate a long, productive trajectory in like 2 minutes.
I know.
And you did it. So congratulations on that. So one of the things that really caught my ear, I should say, when you were speaking is I built a business, a cleaning and restoration business, in a way that I can sell it. And that's perhaps that's an area that I want to touch on right now, because what I've learned over my 20 years as a business owner and entrepreneur and working with other business owners and entrepreneurs across the U.S. is that most entrepreneurs do not begin with the end in mind. Then it doesn't come to mind, what do I need to do with my business so it's sellable? So at some point I can exit the business when I want to or when I have to, and do it in a way that'll be beneficial for those who, including myself, for me, and those who invested in this business from day one. I think that's a conversation that not enough entrepreneurs have, or a consideration that not enough entrepreneurs have early on. Doesn't mean that you can't have it along the way, but I think it's a topic that a lot of us, because I've done it, that's why I include myself in that conversation, dismiss that, or we disregard that conversation. A lot of entrepreneurs like myself found myself early on in my career. I'm going to do this, and then when I'm ready to sell, I will have a willing buyer. That's as simple as that. Or in the case of some of my clients, I'm going to do this because I'm really good at it. I'm going to build something big so I can leave for my kids, and then never taking into consideration that the kids don't want it, perhaps.
Yep.
Or the kids have other interests,
Yes.
and this is not aligned with their interests. So anyway, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, other than to say, Tom, what have you found is important for entrepreneurs, for business owners? What should they be doing early on to trigger that line of thinking, that concept of exiting?
Yeah, and I think, when I start with a client, we don't continue until we have that vision statement very clear, right? And vision statement is what do you want to be when you grow up? People say, excuse me, people say that I just want to work hard. I'm a hard worker person. And I say, well, you can work hard for so long, right? And what is going to happen after that? And they don't want to see that, because they're very excited about what is happening now. You say, well, listen, it's like getting married. You want to get married for what? You don't want to travel together. You want to form a family. What exactly you want to do? It's a partnership. So in your business, you have to think, so what is it going to happen with my business? And when I say, are you willing to sell your business? And people say no. I say, why not? Because my business is not for sale. So if I tell you that I have enough money to buy your business, right? And you will not have to work a single day for the rest of your life. And people say, oh, okay, now things change. Of course, because we're always selling. And the thing is, if you start your business saying, I'm going to build my business so I can sell it to myself, sell it to my family, my kids, my friends, whoever wants to keep with the legacy, it's always selling. I want people to go to your office and say, oh man, I want to work here. Or some investor is going to come and say, wait a minute, I want to buy your business. You're very successful. So if you keep in mind that you want to build your business so you can sell it, I guarantee it'll be successful. I can guarantee if you work smart enough, it'll be ready to be sold. And people say, I want to buy your business because you are successful, right? You might never ever sell it. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to sell it. What I'm saying is that if you start, if I build my house and I say I'm gonna sell my house in the future, right? Anytime I have anything broken, the pipe is broken, the walls need repair, I will always be repairing my house and making it look nice, so I can have a nice house. I can live in a nice house. So I can be in a good business, enjoy my business, and at the same time being attractive to my customers, to the people who are going to follow after that, and possibly investors. Because after all, we're in business to make money, right? So we have to be attractive. If I say, well, listen, I want to sell myself, in other words, I have to sell my image, because first of all, you sell yourself as an image, so people follow your business, right? If they don't like you, they're not going to do business with you, right? You have to be likable. I mean, period. A coach will tell you that. You have to be likable. If people don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. I don't care how cheap you buy. So the thing is, you have to start your business and continue your business saying, this is for sale. Anybody that comes in my office, anybody that calls me, I'm going to always think that person is going to buy my business. And with that mentality, I'll tell you, it works. It works.
That is such a powerful concept, build your business with the intention of selling it, whether you sell it or not, whether that's your plan today or you don't think it's ever going to happen, it doesn't matter. But that mindset, that way of thinking, that way of operating, that way of continuous improvement, and always showing the best version of yourself and your business, man, that's powerful. That's powerful. It's a simple thing to do. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but it's a simple thing to keep in front of you all the time. So how do people do that? I mean, most of us don't think that way, honestly, or don't think of that way automatically. So how does someone learn to do that?
Well, I'll tell you what we do is, I know I do business and leadership coaching, and people say, do you do personal coaching? So I don't do personal coaching. I don't advertise myself as personal coach, but as business coach, we have to touch your personal life, right? Because what if your wife doesn't want you to do this type of business? And every time we talk, you're miserable and you say, I don't know what I'm doing. I say, wait a minute. Is your wife in agreement with what you're doing? And if you say, now she hates my business. Oh, okay. No wonder you're miserable in your job. So how are you going to do work with that? So we always go back into the personal, right? I always say when people get married, they say, well, why did you get married to that woman or a woman? Why did you marry that man? Well, he was so attractive or she was so attractive. I say, well, how do we keep ourselves attractive in many ways? Because we grow, we change, we change. And how do we remind ourselves of that first love, right? And keep feeding that first love. And do not forget why you started your marriage. Do not forget why you started your relationship. Do not forget why you started your business. And you have to repeat yourself, and you have to repeat the other people that are joining your business, why we started this business. Now, things might change because as we grow, we learn and we evolve. But that first love has to stay there, right? And when I start with a client, we don't continue until we actually write it down. That person writes down, why am I in business? What is my vision for my business? Therefore, it's very exciting because they rediscover why they're in business. The fact that I can cook doesn't make me a restaurant owner, right?
Right.
So I say, well, you can cook very well, but it doesn't mean that you're a business owner. You can be a great employee, but, instead of a really bad owner. So people say, no, I want the status of owner. Say, no, it doesn't matter. If you're in love with the title and position, there's nothing I can do. Because I had clients that have achieved that position that they wanted, and they go back and say, Tom, I'm not really happy with this position because, they just fall in love with the position of being entrepreneurs, being leaders, having those titles, but the passion is not there. Anyways, you have to start with the passion, understand why you're in business, and believe me, that'll work. It'll keep you investing in your business and making it very lucrative and very attractive.
Yeah, well said. And I think that many individuals launch a business because exactly what you said. I'm really good about doing this. I'm really passionate about doing that right now. Therefore, I'm going to launch this business because it's just going to be successful for those two reasons. Mm-hmm. And a really good friend of mine who I consider a mentor today still, we met in 2009 and we speak every week still. Because we grow with and through each other, right? He said, not all traffic lights are going to be green all the time. So when that happens and you get the reds and the yellows and the detours, you have to remember why you're doing this. It's very easy to stay excited and focused and energized about what you're doing, your business, growing your business when things are going your way. Mm-hmm. And the way that you expect them to go and at the speed that you expect them to go. But if the times when you get the red lights on the detours and the challenges, that's where you go, you remember why you're doing this. Remember your purpose. Remember the reason why you decided to do X, the reason why you decided to start that restaurant or that construction company or that cleaning company, whatever it was. And that's what's going to keep you focused and help you get up in the morning and say, I got up for that. This is the reason. I know yesterday sucked, but today's not going to suck because I'm rejuvenated and I know where I'm going. So, excuse me, knowing that a lot of people have passion perhaps, but that passion doesn't last very long. Let me just give you a little bit of background. Having worked with entrepreneurs and business owners and being an entrepreneur and business owner for 20 years myself, mm-hmm. This is what I know. There's 31.5 million small businesses in America. 2/3 of them, 25 million, actually 80%, 25 million, they don't have any employees beyond the founders. Now, I will tell you that something like I don't know, about half of those entrepreneurs would make about $26,000 more money if they work for somebody else doing the same thing. Now, I don't share this to tell you that is bad news or it's a bad idea to launch your own business or your idea. I just want to just kind of recalibrate us to understand that it's not as easy as most people paint it out to be. Mm-hmm. It's not the romantic journey to success. Things happen. 2/3 of entrepreneurs are not. They fail within the first 5 years. 97% they don't exist within 10 years. And the number one reason for that, not that they're stupid, not that they're lazy, not that they don't know what they're doing. The number one reason is that they're trying to achieve success by themselves. They don't surround themselves with the right people, with the right resources, the right information to make the right decisions quickly enough to achieve success. So what happens? You make too many mistakes and you run out of time, you run out of resources, and you have no other option other than to close down or cease operation. So understanding that that's the reality. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be the reality for everyone if they do certain things earlier than they thought that they needed to make them. So it's a lot of words, but this is what I want to get at. Mm-hmm. Understanding that most people try to do everything by themselves. What do you say to those entrepreneurs and business owners, Tom, from your business coach and leadership coach perspective?
Well, and I always, that's a great question, because I find that every day when I talk to people and I say, why do you want to do this? Why are you in business? Why? And that they give me the already rehearsed answer, right? The one that answer that they give at every networking event. They say, well, this is what I want, blah, 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 blah. You say, okay, good. Now, why? And I keep asking why, and I keep asking why. And they go into, wow, you're getting now into level number 3. Now you're getting into my heart and my mind. I say, yeah, exactly. I want to go there. So people say, well, I want to make money. He said, well, how much money is enough? I said, well, $1 million. He said, do you think that's enough? So, oh, it's not enough. He said, I don't know. People make tens of billions of dollars, and I don't know. It's up to you. He said, well, I want to make money. He said, well, I give him all kinds of examples of other businesses, even illegal businesses where you can make a lot of money. And they go like, Tom, who do you think I am? I'm a guy with integrity. I want to really build a good, legacy for my kids and my family. Now we're talking. It's not about money. Money is a result of a good business, right? Money is a result of good service, and keeping your clients. It's not necessarily the money, because it's never enough. When you say how much money is enough, you say, well, a little bit more. You say, well, guess what? You're really chasing something and you're not really accomplishing anything, because anybody could be. I know of a lot of people who can conduct illegal businesses and make money, but they're not really free. They're not really, creating a legacy, building. So I go deeper. We go deeper into what exactly do you want to accomplish, right? So now we go into say, well, we're going to start building on that. And remember that one person alone cannot really accomplish great things on this life. If you go back in history and you say, well, I could tell you about that person that really, accomplish everything, accomplish a lot of things. It's very famous. No, look behind that person. That person had a team. That person had a group of people, the followers, who really did the work for that person, right? And they go like, oh, that's true. So, that person not by himself. You can mention all kinds of people here. The thing is, they had a team. They had followers. They had people who actually were working with that person. So the same thing is with you. You cannot accomplish that by yourself. The minute you realize that, yes, I have to humble myself, I have to slow down, I have to regroup and surround myself with people who will help me and to accomplish. But you need to have a vision, because Antonio, if you say, well, Tom, get in the van with me, get in my car, and I say, of course, I like you. You're my friend. You're my brother. I follow you. I get in the car with you and you start driving. And I say, I'm really happy. I'm following you because you're my friend. But after a while, I say, Antonio, wait a minute. Where are we going? And you go like, yeah. I don't know. We're driving, right? This is a good traffic. He said, no, Antonio, stop. Leave me here because you don't have a vision. You have no idea where you're going. So you're my friend, but you don't have a vision. So that happens with a lot of business people. They bring people and they don't tell them where they're going because they don't know themselves where they're going. And that's
Yeah.
very important for a business owner to say, well, this is where we're going. And we're going to have stops here. We're going to have ups and downs. Are you willing to follow me? People say, okay, I'll follow you. So those are good followers. These are good people who are going to be leaders in your enterprise, in your business. So we develop ourselves as entrepreneurs, also as leaders, and understanding that we cannot accomplish anything great by ourselves.
Wow. That was awesome. I mean, I love that example because I totally saw myself driving this vehicle to nowhere and say, Tom, let's go. And you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. And then you're going, where are we going? I totally saw that. And that's what you're right. There's a lot of people who run their lives and run their business that way. One little pro tip that I learned along the way, and I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new, is that someone told me or walked me through an exercise like what you just said, and it says you have to ask why 7 times before you get to the real deal. You know, why you launch your business? Because I want to help a lot of people. Why? Because I've gone through a lot of things that could be beneficial to others. Why? Because I think it's my duty. If I know the answer to something and I should be able to help, it's my duty to do that. Why? Because, you know, and you ask yourself enough of those questions until you get to the real essence of what you're doing, And it's usually not money. Money is super important. And every one of my targets, I converted to a financial target because that's how I measure myself. And that's how I can measure productivity and make adjustments. But it's not the money, man. It's not the money. There's something that you want to use the money for. And it's probably not the first 3 things that you think of. It's a little bit deeper than that. So that's a great exercise to do for everyone to do and do it in an honest way.
Yes.
And do it by yourself. If you're a little concerned that someone's going to judge you, I don't care if people judge me, quite frankly. I'm past that part of my life. But if you're still concerned, do it by yourself. But make sure that you do it in writing so you can go back to it and really remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. So understanding all of that stuff and understanding that Mr. Tom Martinez is a business and leadership coach. This is what I would like for you, Tom, to share with us your perspective between what is a coach, what is a mentor, what is a consultant. There's a lot of people who use those terms interchangeably, and perhaps that's not the right thing. I want to get your perspective on it.
Yes, that's a great question, Antonio, because right now I have people ask me, they say, well, are you a consultant? I need to consult with you. I say, well, I'm not a consultant. I'm a coach. And I have to explain, you know, it's a teachable moment. You know, I learned that myself. I know there's a lot of confusion out there. And the word coach came up like in 2000 something. You know, we've been using coach forever, but when it comes to business and personal coach or leadership coach, it came into the 2000s, and a lot of people think they're coaches, but we have to be very careful, right? A mentor is the person who, in an organization, can take you through the system. That, you know, if you're a new person, mentee, a new person in the organization, they can take you through the processes and introduce you to people who will help you in your career. If it's a mentor outside of your organization, that person will introduce you people outside of your organization, so you can expand your network and also learn more about your business and your career. The mentor will ask you where exactly you want to go and who do you want to meet. Oh, based on what you're telling me, I need you to do this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next time you come with me, come with questions so we can work it out. I will introduce you to these people, and you take it from there and let me know how it goes. And you say, well, this is what you should do. That's the mentor. The consultant knows exactly about your business, knows everything about your business, knows exactly how to operate your business, the ins and outs, and will tell you, based on his experience or her experience, will tell you how to conduct your business. I don't know, if you're in construction, that person is a general contractor, knows everything about the permits, the codes, building codes, and whatnot, the employees that you need, the software that you need, everything that you need, and will tell you, you need to do this 1, 2, 3, and 4 in order to get to this goal. And I recommend that you also do this so you can go to this goal. That's a consultant. obviously they interview you before they start, so they know what exactly you need to, what is your vision. Now, when it comes to the coach will say, well, tell me about yourself and why you want to do this. That's when people get kind of confused. It's, wait a minute, you're asking me questions. I thought you were going to tell me how to do it. So, well, that's the difference, because we're going to find out why you want to do it and what is your plan. Of course, the coach has some basic knowledge, and sometimes specialized knowledge when it comes to strategic planning, the process to go through it, and they can teach. It could be a teaching moment. So this is how you think. Let's talk about your vision and why you're in business. And the coach just waits for the answer. He said, well, what is it that you want to be when you grow up? And I'll wait. I don't know. Okay, well, the time is up, so we'll meet tomorrow. You let me know. What? We spent here. The only question you asked me is that. I said, well, why do you think about it? Because until you know who you are and what you want to be, we cannot continue. We have to make sure that you have that. And the coach will say, well, this is how fast you want to run, and what are you willing to do in order to get there? They say, well, oh, coach, I thought you were going to tell me. I said, no, I'm going to ask you because I need to know your strengths. You need to know your own strengths. You need to know your own capabilities, your own communication style, your own personality, and what makes you that good to accomplish that. So the coach actually challenges the client in a good way. Obviously, there has to be some rapport and in love. A coach needs to gain the confidence so much and the love from the client in order to say, well, your baby is ugly. The coach is brutally honest with the client. He said, well, listen, it's not happening. And it's not happening because you're not applying yourself. They hate that, but they love it because now you're challenging me in a very confidential and loving way. We're moving forward. And the coach doesn't have an agenda. A coach doesn't say, well, this is what you should do in your business. You know what? No, not at all. You should do in your business what you're passionate about. You should do in your business what you're called to do. That's the difference.
That is amazing. Thank you for doing that, because there is a lot of confusion in the marketplace. It's not, I went to school for engineering, and it bothered me when I first graduated that everybody was calling themselves an engineer. Not everyone can call themselves a doctor, but everybody's an engineer. The guy pushing the broom in the factory was a sanitation engineer. So, I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight that battle. I know what I can do, what I can do, and what I won't do. But I think it's very useful to have that rudimentary way of looking at the three differences, because instead of going out, not everyone needs a coach and a mentor and a consultant at the same time. The different cycles of business require different types of expertise. Sometimes you need to know the techniques, the nuances of that particular business. Sometimes you need to hone in your sales process, as an example, or your marketing process. That's a consultant more than a coach, in my opinion. Sometimes you need to, connect with someone who's been exactly in the journey that you're embarking on and is further ahead. And perhaps a mentor relationship will be of high value to you and your business in that stage of the game. But sometimes you need to understand and remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and remember why you started, and having a more holistic approach to your mission. And that's when I think a really good coach like Tom can help you relearn that for yourself.
Yes.
One of the things that really I learned through you, Tom, and through our friendship is like, man, I thought you were going to give me the answers. I got problems. I don't need to talk about my problems. I need you to talk to me about the solutions. And that's really not the role of the coach. And you taught me that. And I want to thank you publicly for that, because the student, in my case, me, is forced to look at things that perhaps we don't want to look at, but we don't want to make the time to look at, but they're important. And only a good coach will make me see that this is the right thing and the timely thing to do now. So That's an amazing job that you do, Tom. And I appreciate you for doing that and for the impact that you have in me and others in the community.
Well, that's more. Thank you for that, Antonio. More than a job is a calling. I mean, I know this is something that might sound philosophical, but it's a calling. I was called to do this, and I say I'm called, and then God prepares me for this. I say, but the thing is, I've seen people who have the coach, they have the consultant, and they have the mentor, and these are the most balanced professionals and leaders. When they know, I say, Tom, I'm speaking to my consultant about this, and I go like, cool, cool. I have people say, I'm talking to my therapist about this, my psychologist about this. And I think like, I mean, this is very confidential conversations. I say, how is that going? I say, well, I'm actually finding balance here and finding balance there. And it's all coming together because now I can talk about this when in the past I couldn't talk about this. And I said, well, I'm glad you have a mentor. I'm glad you have a consultant. I'm glad you have a teacher. I'm glad you have a therapist. My goodness, you're surrounding yourself with people who will help you and make you whole. And that you're humble enough to realize that you need that and you're being successful. And I tell you what, when the leader grows and is better, everybody around that leader benefits. Is everybody will benefit. Everybody will suck in from your knowledge as a leader, Antonio. When people go around you, they feel like, wow, I can learn from you, Antonio. And I've seen that happen, by the way. You talk to people and people feel like, well, I just talked to Antonio. That's so cool. And you probably do it not intentionally, but that's what you project, right? That's what you project. That's what you're calling as well, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for those words. I mean, this is a little love fest we got going on here, but it's genuine. It's genuine. Tom, tell me about what's next for you. Tell me what got you excited. What are you working on as we wrap up this episode of LatProXperience?
Well, yeah, I got many years to go. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes we say that people retire at a certain age. I say I just learned from a good friend of mine. It's not retirement, it's refirement, right? And I think we need to keep adding value until the very end, right? I watched the other day a movie on Vikings. I say, well, I'm going to die in battle. That's so cool because he said a very old man who was with his sword and fighting is, I'm going to die in battle because this is what I do. And I could see his love for what he was doing, his passion for what he's doing. He said, this is what it is. We don't know how long we're going to be on Earth, right? It's not how much time we have left. It's all about how far we can go. And this is from John Maxwell. I'm quoting from him. So we have to keep adding value to ourselves, right? Make sure that I keep myself mentally, physically, and spiritually fit. And I'm doing all three of them. This is mental right here, and my spirit actually is growing here as well. I have my spiritual coaches too. I'm doing CrossFit. Many people say, well, you do CrossFit? Are you old for that? Awesome. I said, not really. I just started this. I love it. And it makes me feel like I'm really accomplishing something. It's 1 hour that I forget about everything. And I die in that hour. That's true. I die.
You forget everything because you're dead, man. Yeah. That's what happened.
And then I'm resurrected. I said, well, this is so cool. My wife also started it. And now we're like, oh, we're so fit and buff. My kids tease me about that. I say, oh, you're so buff. You say, oh, whatever. That's good. So make sure that you have all this mental, and how mental health nowadays is so critical. We heard about stories, and we know about friends that have lost good, loved ones, and mental health is true, and spiritual and physical. So my plan is to keep working on those three. Stay with my family, like I said, until the end I'm called, until that day when I'm called. I want to make sure that we add value, adding value to myself, adding value to everybody around me, and making sure that we do the right thing.
I love it. Thank you, Tom. I mean, I will tell you, I want to thank you publicly for adding value to me, not only today, but throughout our relationship over the years. I want to thank you for giving the best of you here today in this episode of LatProXperience. I want to thank you for giving of your time, wisdom, and expertise to be of value to all of us. So, and I hope that everyone who made the decision to connect to LatProXperience today have gotten a lot of value. And if that's the case, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to LatProXperience, the podcast. You can find it in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and any other major platform where podcasts live. So this is the kind of content that we're sharing here today. It's just not something that is out there and readily available. We want to have conversations with people of value, just like Tom Martinez here today, because we want to show you that people are winning around you. We want to show you that you too can win. And we want to show you that, look, man, there's success around you. I gave you some bad statistics or some real statistics about success and failure in small business ownership in the US, but that doesn't need to be you. The number one reason that people succeed is that they surround themselves with the right people, the right resources, and they take urgent action on a daily basis in the direction of their goals. So thank you again, Tom, for giving yourself to us, giving up yourself to us in such an unselfish way. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Remember that success is inevitable if you surround yourself with the right people and take action in the direction of your goals on a daily basis. Take care, and we'll see you soon.